Hello, my lovelies. It is Kulipup here, coming at you with another lesson. Now, today's lesson is going to be about who are you actually speaking to? I'm a part of a lot of groups, a lot of psychic reading groups and everything like that, because I'm always looking for new people to help, trying to spread some advice, some wisdom, lessons and everything like that, reaching a bigger audience. Now, one thing I have definitely noticed is I get a lot of individuals, especially a lot of intuitive individuals who make comments such as, oh, well, I've got a bunch of different guides here and there and everything like that, and I'm speaking to this person, I'm speaking to that one, Spirit's telling me this, Spirit's telling me that, and they're making a lot of decisions about their life based on who they're speaking to. Now, here's the thing. Just because you're able to get a signal and you're not feeling something really heavy of negativity on there, doesn't mean you're actually talking to your spirit. Doesn't mean you're actually talking to the person you want to talk to, or the being that you're trying to talk to. And this is, of course, no disrespect to individuals who have their connection and who are like, no, I know exactly who I'm talking to. Which I'm like, hey, that's cool. But if you find that sometimes you don't get really accurate pendulum answers, sometimes it'll be like a yes and then it'll be a no. Or if your accuracy isn't 100% and you're just like, why does this happen? Like, oh, maybe I'm just out of practice. It could just be because you're being manipulated. When we think of the ethereal world, we have to think of them as it's just like this world, right? Some people you can trust, others you can't. But it's up to you to decipher who is trustworthy to you and whose advice you want to follow. Because not everybody's your guide. Okay? So, that's what I want to do. Who are you actually talking to? So, let's write that down. Who are you talking to? I put 20. Who are you talking to? 20. Okay. Who are you talking to? Okay. So there are 3 types of individual, or 3 types of beings or types of consciousness that you will find within this matrix game of life or within this universe. Okay, number 1, you are going to have your source fractal, aka spirit. Your source fractal or your spirit is also known as spirit guides or higher consciousness. Okay, so that's who you definitely want to be speaking to. Okay, that's who we definitely want, because your source fractal, your spirit guide, is the spirit that resonates on the frequency of love, and they will always tell you the truth, and they are always going to be the ones that want to guide you to a positive place and not hold you back. The second kind of individual or being that you're going to speak to is an entity. Now, an entity is an individual who is not a spirit, but has the ability for a consciousness to calculate, to maneuver, to organize, who can speak to you and I and gain information and use it. So if you want to put it this way, if you're thinking of it as a game, an entity is more like when you're playing against the computer. They're still able to think, but they are still a part of the game. So an entity, when they pass away, they do not leave this universe, as they are part of this universe. However, when a source fractal passes away, we go back to the source of creation. We go back to the source of energy. So, and our souls are immortal, and we keep incarnating into different universes and in different places. But an entity is attached to this universe specifically, as it is part of this game. However, they are very, or can be very intelligent and be able to navigate through this game very well. Okay, so entities, you will find an entity would be Okay, I'm going to say this. An entity would be such as a ghost, evil spirit, which not that spirit, no, not that one, not that kind of spirit, but just people would say, you know what, how instead of evil spirit, we'll say demon. Entities that are good as well, you would think would be a fairy, or not necessarily good, but neutral. A nymph, elves. I don't know how to spell, I swear, elves. I don't know, whoever. Ask me. Elves, they also reside in human consciousness as well. So you can have the consciousness of an entity who is not a source fractal spirit, but residing in a human's body as well. And third, you have a program. Again, I don't spell. No, that doesn't seem right. No, I think it's not me. I'm bad with spelling. I know, I'm terrible. Okay, so the third is a program. Now, a program is basically either an individual or a thing that runs off of a set program. They can't really change, they can't really maneuver off of that program. Just the same way as if you were to play a game, and let's say you're playing Ninja Gaiden or Tekken or something like that, or an adventure game or Zelda or something, and you come up to the old shopkeeper that it's a program, right? Where you wanted to use your little coins to purchase something, and you have to go to the shopkeeper to do it. And the shopkeeper will say the same thing over and over. Hello, friend, what can I get you today? And give me your coins. Program cannot come out of the same loop. Now, programs are basically everything. They can be, you can have a human that is a program. And if you think of the Matrix movie, if you haven't watched it, I really, 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 really recommend watching the Matrix movies. Except for most of it actually tells you a lot about this game of life that we're in. However, what's kind of cool about, the theatrics, the machine monsters trying to destroy Zion, that's all theatrics. That's not really real. But the concept behind it, so when Agent Smith is like taking over some of the bodies, right? Because they're everywhere, and they just like, all of a sudden you have a shopkeeper that morphs into an Agent Smith. It's because that shopkeeper was a program, and Agent Smith is an entity. An entity that can think, that can move, can maneuver, can change its programming in order to get to the desired effect, whereas a program just literally runs off of their script. So humans can be programs, animals are programs, plants are programs. So humans, animals, plants. If you think of, the miraculous feats when baby sea turtles, when they hatch, how do they know which direction to go? How do they know they've just been born that they need to get to the ocean? It is because they are programmed. It is programmed into them. They are literally like a computer program that knows, like, oh, once I hatch, this is the steps I'm following through on my program. So these are the kind of the three main things that you would be speaking to. Not main things, they're the only things, really. Everything can fall into one of these three categories. So again, you're either speaking to spirit, you're speaking to entity, or you're speaking to programs. Now, programs, because yes, you can speak to an animal or you can speak to a plant, but you can also speak to the programs that are within your own conscious mind. So, those programs, oh, this is terrible. I'm sorry, this pen is terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry, we're going to have to admit that. So programs within your consciousness. within your mind, I'll say. Now, if you haven't watched my your five bodies videos on YouTube, I definitely recommend you watching those, because you'll understand this a little bit better. But the programs that actually reside within your mind are your subconscious, and your emotions, and your consciousness as well. Okay, so these are the three main programs that actually reside within yourself. All right, so when we are thinking, we are connecting with our guides, and we are gaining information from the heavens. A lot of the times, a lot of people are simply speaking to their subconscious because they can't tell the difference. Or they may be speaking to their emotional body, or they may be speaking to their conscious program. And I'll explain a little bit more about the conscious program. So we have our source fractal, okay, which is us. And we'll just that's our source fractal, okay? Divine, yay, divinity. Okay, and then we have our actual physical bodies that are here on Earth. Okay, so we have what we call between us the veil. Okay, so this is the veil between our higher consciousness, our source fractal, and our physical bodies down here on Earth. Now, when we are feeling in the love emotion and we are vibrating in the love frequency, which the love frequency is balance, I'll be doing another video on that one. When we have balanced everything, our source fractal, our minds of our source fractal is able to come in to the minds of our body. So instead of us having our spirit guides, we become our guides. Our guides are now residing inside of our minds and our hearts entirely. So that's why, and by the way, I've done this process. So when you are speaking to me, you are speaking to literally a guide that has now taken this vessel. Don't get me wrong, I didn't do it by force or anything. This is just because this lovely woman, who I'm, who's part of this body, vibrated on such a high love frequency that I was able to enter this vessel with this one. So now this is why I have all this information that I can give to you, because I want more of my brothers and sisters to come in and to enjoy this. So anyway, so as we come in here, now you got to think, it takes a long time. It's like a downloading process. So if you think you're downloading a movie, like at the beginning, there's only about 0.5% of our consciousness, of our higher selves that are within our bodies. Okay, so it's not very much. However, as you expand and you raise your frequency, that can go up to, now you've got 10% of your source fractal or your higher consciousness that is within your body. But now here's the thing. If only 10% of your actual higher self, who you truly are, is in your body, what else makes up the other 90%? That is your consciousness programming. Now, your consciousness is a program because it is influenced or it is written by society. So as you are growing up, and the things that you are seeing and the things that you are learning basically make up your conscious programming. Okay, so you may be like, I don't like spiders. Well, your source fractal may be perfectly fine with spiders, but your source fractal may just be like, no, snakes are horrible. But your body's just like, I think snakes are fine. So your consciousness is basically what society programs into you. Such as if you believe that you are, silly ideals like, I'm the most beautiful because X, or I'm the strongest because X, or, a good woman is one that can cook and take care of her man, and a good man is a guy who can provide and be the strength of his family. And those are all programmed. That's part of your consciousness programming. Okay, your source fractal, your higher consciousness, has evolved past everything and sees the world for what it is, sees the truth for what it is, and doesn't require a program like that. So you could be speaking to your consciousness in terms of a program. Now, your subconscious is a very, very strong program. So if you want to think of your subconscious in movie terms, your fractal is Neo in the Matrix, and your subconscious is Agent Smith. Okay? Always trying to get you to conform, get you to go back into just that 0.5%. And it's because your subconscious program has the ability to manipulate you when you are lower consciousness. So when people are asking their questions to their pendulum and it's not coming out quite right, it's because if you don't have your emotions sorted out, if your emotional program isn't balanced, if all of these aren't balanced to your higher consciousness here, your subconscious is going to take over. And it's going to give you inconsistencies. Your higher consciousness only speaks truth and will never give you a false answer. And the thing is, your fractal is connected with all of the universal energy. So if your fractal says, yes, this is correct, it means that anybody else with a source fractal is going to get the same answer on their pendulum because it's truth. However, your subconscious will give you any answer it feels that is necessary to keep either you safe or keep you in your place down here. So you got to be really, really careful about that. Now, you also have entities who could be on here too as well. These entities, they are normally going to try to feed off of you for something, to take some sort of energy. So they are going to mimic either your subconscious, your consciousness, or your fractal. So to get that sorted, you really, really, really have to know or either feel the difference in frequency when they're speaking to you, or you have to be really, really acute with your questioning to understand who you're speaking with. Now, there is the rule of 3, okay? If you ask 3 times to your pendulum because you're unsure. So for example, if you were like, should I move to BC? Okay, and it's saying, yes, you should. Now, that's a huge move, right? Or should I move to another country, right? That's a really big decision. And some people are like, you know what, I need to speak to my guides on this one. I don't know what to do. However, your guides will know like, hey, this is a good step to take. This is something good to do. However, your subconscious may be fearful and just be like, you know what, no, we're comfortable here. So when you're asking, should I move to another country? And you're getting a no, but you really, really want to, because, you know, in your heart, you're like, it feels like the right thing to do, but your pendulum keeps saying no. You would need to ask, I need to know the truth. I want only the truth. Should I move to another country? And if it still says no, should I move to another country? It still says no. Should I move to another country? Well, mine says no. But you would want a yes to come. Well, mind you, it may still be no. Who knows? But it is the rule of 3. When you are inciting your will and you're saying, I want nothing but the truth, only my source fractal is allowed to answer on this pendulum. Only. And there you go. And you can also ask as well, is this my source fractal? Is this my source fractal? Is this my source fractal? And that would be, and they would get the answer. So for example, I would be, is my subconscious answering this? No. Is my subconscious answering this? Nope. Is my subconscious answering this? No. Is my higher consciousness answering this? Is my higher conscious answering this? Is my higher consciousness answering this? And I'll get a yes. No, I'm sorry. I get accuracy on this. So it's hard for me to give you a wrong example. But try it out. Try it out. So is my subconscious manipulating my pendulum? Okay, ask this 3 times. You may get a yes, you may get a no for the first 2, but on the 3rd one, you're probably going to get that yes. Okay, because It has to answer within 3 times. All right. Well, that is my video. I hope I kind of clarified who you may be speaking to and who to watch out for. If you found this video useful, please, and you liked it, if you'd like to donate, I'd love to receive any gifts. All energy received is definitely energy that is returned. And you can do so by going to paypal.me/source truth and donate whatever you like. $1 or more is great, but no pressure. Alrighty. Thank you ever so much. Bye.